Is the BMW M2 competition coming to an end? Well, it certainly looks that way, according to BMW. Now, this is coming right before the launch of the second generation of the BMW M2, the G87 series. The whole thing started with the BMW 1M, which I actually had back in 2011, and the M2 is kind of the successor to that car. With the first generation, it started out with the N55 engine, and then they moved into the M2 Comp, which had the S55 engine, which of course came from the M3 and M4. And so now let's look at this article from BMW blog that says M2 officially rules out for now, M2 competition, but individual colors coming. And let's actually get into this. Let's just get right into this article. Ever since the second generation BMW M2 was unveiled in October of 2022, enthusiasts have been asking for more power, whether more power is planned for a potential competition model. After all, the G87 uses the same twin-turbo inline-six engine as the M4. That's, of course, is the S58. The bigger brother's 3-liter can develop as much as 560 horsepower in its high state of tune, as seen in the rare 3.0 CSL. My friend actually got one lately, and I will be doing a video with that car in the not-too-distant future. That's 100 horsepower more than a base M2, so it is a lot of power. However, that's not going to happen, at least in the foreseeable future. Our colleagues at Bimmer Today asked BMW M2 project manager Marcus Schroeder about the prospects of a more potent G87, and he said, "It's not on the agenda for the time being," which is hardly a surprise since the regular global model launch won't happen until April. So they are kind of being a little bit cagey about it, but I don't know if it's going to happen either. We do know for a fact that this M2, this generation, this G87 generation is going to be the last fully ICE BMW. After that, I think we can expect some form of hybridization. And we know this because Frank Van Meel, who is the BMW head, last year said this about the M2 future. The BMW M2 with inline 6-cylinder and rear-wheel drive will definitely be a puristic driving machine. We will see increasing electrification in our other vehicles, of course in different forms, starting with the 48-volt electrical system and plug-in hybrids to fully electric drives, so the whole range of new drivetrains. Seen this way, the M2 will be the last M with a pure combustion engine drive, and also without electrification scopes such as 48-volt onboard network, said Van Meel. However, it's not all bad news, because BMW has also confirmed that they do want to continue with ICE vehicles past 2030. Let me show you this article. And this is coming from Autocar, which is actually quoting from The Drive and another magazine called Hasselblad. BMW has signaled its plans to keep the internal combustion ICE engine alive after reportedly stating it will continue to invest in the technology beyond the end of the decade. Now, Porsche has said they're going to go 80% electric, and they're talking about a synthetic fuel that they're going to develop, or they're developing. And BMW begs to differ from the aforementioned car makers, with the brand claiming it wants 50% of its sales to be ICE vehicles in 2030. So that is some good news. This is continuing with Marcus Schroeder, the BMW M2 project head. The statement confirms a report BMW blog published days ago after the new M2 was officially revealed, in which we said a competition spec G87 is not happening. Sad face. However, sources close to Munich have told us a small power hike is likely on the agenda and should be applied later in the life cycle. Logic tells us we shouldn't expect a massive power bump in output, since the baby M would end up cannibalizing sales of the M4. And if you like xDrive, you're not going to get it in the M2. Again, they're trying to position this as a real front engine rear drive, just a pure sports car. During the same interview with German magazine Bimmer Today, Marcus Schroeder ruled out an M2 xDrive. As you might recall, an all-wheel drive version allegedly showed up in an internal document in August 22, months before the G87's official debut. And what we do know is there are a bunch of BMW individual colors coming, but apparently the plant in Mexico where the M2 is made is not really tooled up and ready to do individual colors just yet. I'm hoping to get an M2 press car in the coming weeks to see how it performs. Click right over here if you want to see another video on performance cars. My name is Eric. Thanks for watching.